Welcome to our third segment in our professional automotive sales training video program. Today we're going to be looking at step number 3 of the 10-step selling system. Land on a vehicle. This is where you take the information you've gathered in your qualifying process, the initial qualifying phase, and you take this information about the basic equipment, the size, the color range that you gathered, and you guide the customer through the inventory to find, hopefully, the least expensive vehicle in stock that comes closest to what they need or want. Most people make this fundamental mistake. They think, because I'm working 100% commission, I want to land my customer on a real expensive car. That way I'll make a bigger commission. Not true. You want to land them on the least expensive automobile that comes closest to what they're looking for. Because as much as they may fall in love with the top of the line vehicle, if they can't afford the payment, if the bank won't give them a loan, you've accomplished nothing. And 100% commission of nothing is nothing. So land them on the least expensive vehicle. They will appreciate it and they will feel much more comfortable working with you because you're not trying to guide them to too much automobile. That's a classic mistake that customers really resent. They always think you're out to get them. And when you land them on the least expensive car that has what they're looking for, they appreciate it. Along with that, we want to determine priorities of the customer because sometimes they have a wish list of what they'd love in that car. But when push comes to shove and they get out into the real world and look at real pricing, sometimes that moonroof that they thought they would enjoy, they can live without. Sometimes you can show them a vehicle, for example, with a leatherette seating interior instead of a leather interior, and they'll be happy with that. It doesn't have to be genuine leather. So you want to determine those priorities. Does it have to have the 6-disc CD changer, or would a single disc be okay? Just ask. If the car has more than they're looking for and they can still afford it, they'll certainly appreciate it. But if you find a car that's too expensive with too many features that they cannot pay for, they will simply stop the sale. They'll back out of it. So make sure you determine priorities. Understanding this simple truth: the vehicle is never perfect. I don't care if they come in describing one particular automobile and you have all of the features, everything about it. They love the color, they love everything about it. There's almost 1 or 2 things that will inevitably pop up when they look closer that maybe they don't like as much. Maybe they love the front seats, but the back seats, they're a little smaller than they imagined. That doesn't mean they won't buy the car. And don't get hung up on that. Maybe the trailering package only trailers 5,000 pounds and they were thinking maybe I'll get a 7,500 pound trailering package. Don't worry about it. They may not be trailering anything anyway. It's just a feature on the vehicle. The vehicle is very, very, very rarely perfect. And even if they think it's perfect when they take delivery, a week later, I guarantee you they'll say, this doesn't have an ashtray. I thought it had an ashtray. And it doesn't have to be a big deal. So don't get hung up if it's not exactly perfect. If it's a major feature in the car that they definitely have to have, they'll tell you. If there's something about the performance that they don't like and won't live with, they'll tell you. But in the landing phase, don't worry about it being perfect in every way, shape, or form. They'll always live with the closest vehicle that has their needs and wants in their budget range, even if it's not perfect. Obviously, we want to select an automobile that we have available for them in stock right now. Sometimes salespeople make a mistake. They qualify the customer says, I'm looking for a cherry red vehicle, and that salesman knows it doesn't exist in the inventory. And before they even go out into the inventory, they tell the customer, oh, Mr. Customer, don't worry, if we don't have that red color, we'll get it for you. Meaning we might dealer exchange or dealer locate that vehicle for them. Well, as soon as you say that right up front, the customer's under no pressure or even has no desire to land on a car in stock. You've already told them, don't worry, we'll take care of everything. It doesn't mean we won't dealer exchange a car for them or dealer locate a car for them. It just means don't bring it up until you have to. land them on the car, the closest car that we have in stock. That way they can see the car, they can feel it, they can drive it, they can experience it, they can enjoy it right now. Because that's what we're moving towards. An immediate sale, not a sale a day later, a week later, a month later. So be sure to learn your inventory. You must know what's in stock. You need to know where it is. You need to know how to guide the customer to it quickly and comfortably as possible. And even if you can't land them on a new car, don't forget, there are some customers that are fully capable and fully willing to switch from a new car to a pre-owned automobile. It happens. That's why it's important not only to learn your inventory if you're in new cars, but to also learn the used car or pre-owned inventory. Because they may have a 2-year-old model, the right color, the right equipment, everything's perfect, few miles on it at a lower price. Mr. Customer, even though we don't have a car in stock right now, would you consider a pre-owned? I'm just asking. And every once in a while, they may say, sure, let's go for it. And you may be able to either sell them a pre-owned car or guide them to the pre-owned department to let that sales representative make the sale. Either way, you've satisfied that customer, and that's the ultimate goal, customer satisfaction. Now, even once in a while, you'll have a customer in a pre-owned car that maybe there's a better deal that they're willing to take advantage of right now in new cars based upon rebates or special financing or just overstock that we have to move a unit and we're willing to sell a new car possibly for a pre-owned price. So don't just let the customer go if you can't land them on your particular vehicle. Keep the new owned, pre-owned as an option. Now recognize a very simple truth. If you can't land a customer on a vehicle, you are not going to make a sale. You have to find them something. They're in front of you right now. Maybe it's not perfect, but once they see it, you do a great product presentation, they go for a demo ride, they drive it, then all of a sudden they fall in love with it. But if you never land them on anything, you have nothing, and the sale ends. So if you can't land your customer on a vehicle, don't forget, requalify them, clarify priorities, and bring them back into the dealership and TO to your manager. Turn them over to your manager. Maybe we do end up dealer exchanging a vehicle. Maybe we have a car coming in the next week that we can try to get the customer excited about. Don't just let the sale end. Bring them inside so that we can follow up with this customer. But to the best of your ability, through your excellent meeting, greeting, and qualifying, land them on a vehicle. And when you do, we will then go into one of the most important components of the sale, and that is your product presentation, step number 4. And we'll cover that in the next video. I'll see you then.